Okay guys, this is Rat Knight 1. We're going to look at how to set up and configure T.A.C.O Reloaded. This is where you can find it. All props to these guys. This is not my program. I'm just going to show you how to configure it. You need to meet all the requirements, etc., etc. Download this full install for right now. The current version is 0.8, and extract that somewhere. It doesn't matter too much where. And you extract out those files, and you get some nice stuff here. There is a characters.config, but I would leave that alone. You can bring up this application, which, as it would turn out, I already have up. So here we go. So you get a pretty map. It'll start sort of over here, but we're interested in really getting this up. So I would click on the start watching logs if you're logged into Eve, and stop watching logs just so that it has your character name. So these two tabs right here show you the logging information that it's pulling, and there's every time that we talk about this program, there's some concerns like, oh, is it against the EULA, this and that. It's not. What this application is looking at is when chats happen in your client, it's logged down to a text file. All this application is doing is reading that text file and using that information to figure out where bad things are. But this application really only works if somebody's reported an intel. If they're not reported an intel, it's not going to work. It's pretty simple. So we're going to stretch this out. Now I've already done a little bit of configuration here, but we're currently in Delve, so check the two Delves, check the game log, and here are the alerts. Now there will be other alerts here. When you get started, just remove all of them. I don't like the default ones very much. So yeah, what you'll do here is to add one, I would do ranges 1 jump, 2 jump through 5 jump. So you'll put an equal sign, and there is a drop down here, so equal or less than or equal to 2 jumps, and from any character. Headphone warning here because this could be kind of loud, but I would use different ones for different things, but I'm going to play this. So, and then we can just add this. Check the box to make sure it's an active alert. And you're just going to do this all the way up through for 5 things, and I'll be back as soon as I have done that. Okay, so here we are back, and I've put in 5 alerts here. So I don't know if I mentioned this before, but to remove them, you have to select them and hit remove selected. If you ever want to modify one of these, highlight it, hit edit. It'll autofill in the things here. You edit what you do want. Now there is another cool piece of functionality this has, which is that it will also read sort of your damage log that's going through. So we can add in some custom alerts. So let's do that. So let's say we have a dark blood spawn. So we'll add a dark blood, and I tend to not notice things like this, but just a little earphone warning here. It's not too loud, but that'll play every 10 seconds until the dark blood stops shooting at you. And you can just add that in, select it like you normally would, and la da da. So I also do, because I run a lot of havens, Dreadnought, if I can spell, because you really should notice these guys, but everybody gets busy. Everybody, you might be slightly AFK, not really paying attention. This will just give you a little bit of a heads up about it. So Dreadnought, and we'll do sort of let's go with Starcoin. Yeah, earphone warning. I'm going to give you a couple of seconds. So yeah, just like that. So we'll call it every 5 seconds just so I don't miss it. And start watching log. So I'm going to watch this for just a minute here. And what's going to start to happen is because I have my character up, if we can either, I usually just watch all, and it'll give you a. Now this is not my. I always like to note this, but this is not my always ratting system. I always go to a different one. Okay, so you just saw an interesting functionality where it will move. You can change that. I wanted to get to this under miscellaneous settings. You could tell it to focus somewhere. So what we will do is tell it to, oh yeah, and you should also do that. Jump range in relation to a character. Keep camera centered on character. I also like to change this down to about 10 minutes. I don't really need the information beyond that. I like to turn this up because if there's something there I want to know about it. You can check this box, show the number of times something's been reported in that system. It'll show the alert age, your character's location, and things like that. So we can already see there are bad peoples running around fairly close to where I am, but nothing within our jump range yet. But essentially what will happen is if anything comes over in this direction, we will get a little audio alert that will tell us. And what you can do is keep this up on your second monitor, just to look at. Now you'll see here that somebody put in that a system was clear and did not put out any kind of alert. That's because under config and lists, there's text that you can tell it to ignore. Status, clear, CLR. Now you can always add stuff to this, but for the most part, this seems pretty effective. I haven't really had much of an issue with these. But you should be paying some attention to your in-game intel channels just to be safe. But you can watch this. I have noticed that there is a 5 to 10 second delay between something getting reported and it showing up here. And I think that just has to do with how the application is scraping the log file. So that's really about it. I don't think we're going to get to hear it go off here before we cancel out the recording here, but it does work. It works very well. And as just a side note, you can make your own audio files, your own sounds. So if you go down here to the bottom, you have the option for custom, and it'll come up and you can just go in and pick something. And that custom sound will play. So that's just sort of a general tutorial. It's really not that hard to do. It's just a matter of doing it. And full credit to the folks who wrote this. I did not write it. I have nothing to do with how it's set up or anything like that. So you can tell it where to get your logs. You can manually select it, or if it's for some reason picking the wrong place, you can tell it to look there. But yeah, it will only look at Imperium Intel channels though, so it's not really too useful for other people. You have a wonderful, wonderful day, and fly safe.